100 yards of football. NCAA Week 7 preview. The game. The USC Trojans come in at 6-0, 4-0 in the Pac-12, set to square off against the Utah Utes, coming in with a 4-2 overall record, 2-1 in the conference Saturday over at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Kickoff is scheduled for an 8 p.m. Eastern Time Zone start on Fox. The Trojans, they performed well under new coach Lincoln Riley. They've defeated 5 of their first 6 opponents by 13 points or more behind the QB Caleb Williams. Also, the Utes, they've been able to reel off 4 straight wins following a Week 1 loss to Florida before falling 42-32 at UCLA in Week 6. Vincent Turner has a solid analysis for you for this week's Week 7 NCAA game preview right here on 100 Yards of Football. Keep listening and keep rising.
Thank you, Mr. Maud Bass, for the great introduction. I'm Mr. Football, Vincent Turner. And special thanks to my producer, Mr. Logan Landers, as we break down USC versus Utah. I'm going to start with the Utah Utes first. The team under Kyle Whittingham came in with a lot of expectations to start the season, ranked number 7 in the country, but I had a heartbreaking loss to Florida to open the season. They were still in the mix of a college football playoff talk until last week in Pasadena, California. They got upset by UCLA as Dorian Thompson-Robinson went off and had 4 touchdowns passed and almost 299 yards in the air. And the Utes defense gave up 203 yards on the ground. But their star defensive back, Clyde Phillips III, did have an 80-yard touchdown return for a touchdown in that game. Then you look offensively. Cam Raisin played pretty well last week. He was 23 or 32 for over 200 yards, but he had 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tavon Thomas had 91 yards rushing. He had 1 touchdown. And Dalton Kincaid had 4 receptions for 67 yards. And Davon Veal, the outstanding wide receiver last week, had 87 yards, but the Utes were upset. So this is a key football game for them to keep their Pac-12 hopes up and hopefully represent the Pac-12. I don't know about really talking about being in the college football playoffs, but you can be on the outside. But you lose this game to USC, you're going to be quiet for the rest of the year. And think about this. Utah is playing in their home stadium, which is going to be loud. See, this game has been talked about since Lincoln Riley came over and became the head coach of USC. The Utes are going to be waiting. Now let's talk about the USC Trojans. To be honest, I'm down here in the South, and college football is really high in the SEC. You got everything going on with Deion Sanders making his thing in the SWAC with Jackson State. Georgia ranked number 1, Alabama ranked 3, Clemson number 4. But college football really is not good until California, hey, Hollywood is back on top. And the USC Trojans at another level. See, USC is football royalty in college football history. From Howard Jones to Frank Gifford to Mike Garrett to John McCain, the guy out of Galileo High School. 1967, the electrifying 64-yard touchdown run against UCLA on national television with Chris Schenkel calling the call. And I was 7 years old. And I followed the Trojans when I was a little boy up till I got into college. Richard Wood, Sanfordino, Anthony Davis, Charles White, Sanfordino, Marcus Allen, Ronnie Lott, Paul McDonald, Sam the Bam Cunningham, Bowen Park, Rod McNeil, Roy Foster, Matt Leinart, Carson Palmer, Troy Polamalu, Reggie Bush, Keyshawn Johnson. SSC. Dun 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 dun. The Trojans are back. That young man out of Lubbock, Texas, by way of Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley, have y'all back. And Caleb Williams, outside, no other quarterback in the country, Heisman hopeful outside Hendon Hooker at Tennessee, he's been the second best player in the country. 1,590 yards, 14 touchdowns. Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. in the house. Jordan Addison. He don't have Kenny Pickett this year, but he got Caleb Williams. He hasn't disappointed. 15 yards of reception, 6 touchdowns, 479 yards. And then my man Travis Dye. Last week against Washington State, 149 yards on 28 carries. He's averaging almost 6.3 yards a carry. A long line of Trojan running backs. Marcus Allen, who I just mentioned, Lincoln High School. Ricky Bell, the late great Ricky Bell. Anthony Davis, San Fernando. Charles White, San Fernando. O.J. Simpson, San Francisco. Mike Garrett, Lendale White. Reggie Bush. Let's face it, baby. I'm down here in the South, and I saw some great football on my 62 years. But when USC is rolling, it's special. It's just like the Lakers. It's just like the Rams. It's just like John Wayne, Denzel Washington, the city of Compton, the city of Watts, California, yay, Dr. Dre. The Trojans are back, and they're going to roll on Saturday against Utah. I'm taking the Trojans 35, Utah 21. And I'm going to tell you this. I talked to somebody yesterday about a USC, and they said, come on, man. Lincoln Riley's not Nick Saban or Kirby Smart, but you know what? You better take heed and start watching the Trojans offensively and defensively too. They started defensive tackle. I'm going to say his initials because I don't want to beat up his name. TT had 5 tackles and 4 sacks last week against Washington State. TT, Samoan finest. But I love the Trojans. Caleb Williams is special, man. Jordan Addison is special. USC, LA, J.K. McKay, Pat Hayton, Junior Seau. I could keep going. The list is on and on. Rod Yeary, Mike Holmgren, Wayne Funk's assistant coach, Pete Carroll. They partying out there in Hollywood. They back. The Trojans. California, yay. Dun, 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 dun. USC, one more time, 35, Utah 21. If you like the video, please come in and share it. Special thanks to my producer, Mr. Logan Landers. Thank you to Mr. Mark Bass. Trojans, Hollywood, the city of Compton, the city of Watts, Hollywood, Marilyn Monroe, Bruce Willis, John Wayne, help me, Robert Redford, Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, Hollywood.